Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video. This one will talk all about Vassal, the headlines you're seeing about the catastrophically broken Cardano testnet right now. I'll give you the details on that, what's going on, and the facts behind it all. Also, World Mobile released WMT scan. We'll take a very quick look at that at the end, but I will dive deeper into that in another video as well. Share it out if you think others can benefit. Subscribe if you're new. Comment questions. Give it a like. I do appreciate it. Let's jump into it. Okay, so lots of headlines going around about the catastrophically broken Cardano testnet, and the majority of them headlines stem from this tweet here by Adam Dean. Adam is a very well-respected developer within the Cardano community, well worth following to keep up to date with what's going on the technical side as well. So he put out this tweet about, it's important to point out today that the Cardano testnet is catastrophically broken due to a bug in Cardano node version 1.35.2, which was previously going to be, or was the version recommended for the hard fork by IOG. So unfortunately, lots of people just read the headlines and go off and think that Cardano is broken, ignore that it says testnet, or even on the articles, they read the headline and don't read the details. The Cardano mainnet right now is 100% operational, no issues at all. And this version here, luckily, thanks to Martin from Adata Stake Pool and Mike from PoolTool, they found the issues after a few people updated to this version on the mainnet, found the issues and were able to go back to earlier node versions before any lasting issues were caused on the mainnet. So they also have got a fix for this. So 1.35.3 is the version that is out now, is the one that is recommended for the Vassal hard fork. Countdown has already started. They're waiting to hit certain metrics, which I'll cover in a minute, of when the hard fork will actually kick off. So that's important to point out that mainnet is still good, that there is a release candidate for the Vassal hard fork, and SPOs have already started to update on the mainnet, and blocks are rolling in on the new node version as well. Some people are saying that we are moving too fast, pushing this version out too quick, that not all testing has been done on it. And yes, there are definitely cases to argue that things might be pushing a little bit quick with this version. Some people would like to have more testing done. It's kind of a strange situation that people are accusing Cardano IOG of moving too fast, where previously all we've got is that Cardano is too slow. But testing is ongoing, and I think one more week of really good testing is going to do a lot to calm nerves on people who are just a bit uneasy that in case .3 had issues like .2 had, but the issues that were here that were critical issues were fixed, and .3 so far seems to be running well. If you want more details on all of that, actually one place to go is Dan from Crypto Capital Venture had Adam and also Andrew, another really good technical guy within the community, on his channel last night to talk in more detail about this, because as I say, some people just read the headlines and it's very hard to give the full context of something in just a few characters over on Twitter. So I would say check out that one. I will link it down below if you want to go more in depth into this. So Charles has put out a saying about it's bizarre and alarmist seeing those videos floating around that things are being rushed with 1.35.3. The code in question has been thoroughly tested for months by everyone, including SPOs. The code that was an issue on the testnet has been removed. So Charles is coming out saying that it's not like 1.35.3 is brand new code since .2 and it's something that needs months of testing. He's saying that the overall code has been tested for months now and that the issues within .2 have been fixed within .3. The other side of this, though, as well, is that Charles even says it himself here, it's actually a good thing. It means that the kids are growing up and running things now. So it's not previous, I suppose, I've seen a big change over the last year that the community is really starting to try and drive things now as well. Before that, it was IOG made the decisions on what would go into the upgrades and what would happen, what would be pushed out. But over the last year or so, we've seen a lot of change on that. And it's coming, I suppose, as we have more DApps and more developers coming into the community. We see with a lot of the SIPs that Vassal will bring, they came from the community saying what we actually need on Cardano for more complex DeFi and stuff like that. So it's great to see people with strong opinions within the community, and I suppose knowledgeable people within the community that are very strong, coming out, voicing their opinions, because these types of things are good. We don't want, look, crypto, decentralization, we don't want one voice being the one that says this is what's happening, this is when it's rolling out, and you accept it. We're starting to see a lot of strong opinions and a lot of strong people standing up in the community, which is only going to be good for Cardano long term. So that's kind of what's happening there. And just as well on the testnet, so I did say that the public testnet we've used up to this point is now broken. Unfortunately, it's broken. I don't know if they'll be able to store that and try and create tools that can fix that, just in case we ever do have some issues on mainnet, that a recovery plan is in place. Because look, these things can happen. It happened on the testnet, it could happen on the mainnet. We look at other chains as well and say, oh, we see issues here and there, and every chain can have issues. It's how you deal with them. So this can be a big learning point. We already have changed the testing environment. There are now 2 public testnets. The preview and pre-production are now going to be the main testnets going forward. So you can see the difference in them. The epoch length is going to be different as well. So these ones are going to be 1 day. So it means that things can move faster. You can do more tests. Pre-production then is going to be a copy of mainnet. So very similar to what the old public testnet is going to be. So we will have more options, more testing going forward, which is only going to be good for the final product, and good to see community members getting involved, voicing their opinions. I was on an SPO call yesterday where the community were saying we need to be looking at this type of testing and everything that needs to be looked at before things go into production as well. So then when can the Vassal hard fork actually happen? So we need 3 metrics to be hit. We need 75% of nodes upgraded to the hard fork version by the SPOs on the exchanges, 25 exchanges that manage 80% of liquidity, and then the top 10 DApps upgraded as well. If you want to follow on the SPO side to see how that's going, you can look at Sea Explorer, and you can see here by the node version by Vassal here. By production, it is at 16% upgraded now. If you look at it by the actual stake volume, so there are a lot of stake pools out there, but stake isn't distributed evenly. So if you look at it by the pools that have upgraded by the stake they hold, we are now at 23.9%. I think IOHK go by the stake, but I will have to confirm that in another video as well. So on the exchanges, I don't have any way to look into that to see which ones have upgraded, but if I do find anything on that, I will let you know as well. If you look at the timeline, the way this has to happen is that at the end or before the beginning of one epoch, the changes have to be submitted, and then 5 days later at the start of the next epoch, that's when everything starts to kick in. So we just finished epoch 357 last night, so we're in 358 at the minute. I don't see us having them submitted here at this point. Maybe by the 28th, which would be the beginning of 360, that we might get it here. So I would say by the 28th of August or by the 2nd of September, hopefully we can get things up to the numbers that are needed by then, and that's when the hard fork will be initiated, and then depending on which one it is, it will be 5 days later before the changes come into effect. So World Mobile also released WMT Scan. I will do another video on this one, but I want to mention it here as well. So if you go to WMTscan.com, you can see here real stats on what's going on with the World Mobile Network right now. So you can see up here is about their own token, how things are, the total supply, market cap, circulating supply, and globally staked amount as well. If you come down to this graph here, this is Zanzibar, and you can see these pink dots here are air nodes. And when you start to go in further on this, you can see the areas that they're actually covering. And if you look at the total network consumption over the last 24 hours, just over 1 terabyte here, over 8,500 unique users, and the network uptime is over 100 days currently. Now, I haven't seen any stats on paid users or what these users are paying or per data that they use or anything like that. They're the type of stats I would love to see this break down into eventually, to see the actual income generated by the network and where things are all going there as well. But this really is a great start to see. You can see the overall supply. number of vaults, number of wallets, everything like that. I am due to do a dedicated World Mobile video, so I will dig deeper into all of this in that one as well. Great to see the stats out here, great to see the transparency, and I look forward to diving deeper into that and hopefully being able to bring you news over on the testnet for World Mobile Network, as well as the mainnet following on over the next few months as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Give the video a like, share it out if you think others can benefit. Comment any questions on this, on Vassal, on World Mobile, anything down below, and I'll try and touch on them in the next video as well. Talk to you soon.